Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Mad as a Goat, and today I'm going to talk about how you see this a lot on current affairs shows and shit like that, where they throw around medical diagnosis without actually knowing how serious or just the overall facts about that medical situation is. For instance, for example, because I haven't made myself clear, you've seen these stories about kids who are addicted to gaming. I'm sorry, I do not agree with kids being addicted to gaming. What happens is, when you find these kids who sit around playing games all day and shit like that, you don't go to the child and go, you're addicted, you need help, go to rehab. No, you go to the parents and go, look what you did. Look what you did. Because I blame this completely on the parents. Okay, I had a father who actually knew what the fuck he was doing. So he set fucking boundaries, alright? So I know that as I grew up, I knew I had to go out and get a job and try and be successful instead of sitting inside all day playing video games and being addicted. They're not addicted. They weren't brought up correctly. Their parents, instead of actually talking to their child or actually bringing up their child, used like entertainment as a way to shut them up. You see this shit all the time and it fucking shits me to tears. People who have kids and then can't be bothered bringing them up, so they just turn the TV on and go, look there, shut up. You see this shit. I saw that all as a kid. I grew up in an area which isn't the most high class or highbrow area, and you'd go to a friend's house, and if you come to my house, you're going to talk to my dad, we're going to try and have an intelligent conversation, we're going to converse with each other, he's going to give you, facts about life and whatnot. But every other parent that I've seen, they just sit the kids in front of the television. We're going to sit here like zombies and watch TV or play video games, and they think that's fucking parenting. Look, I got him to behave so well. No, you didn't. You made a fucking zombie. Addiction, my ass. Look, cigarettes, addictive. There's chemicals in them that actually affect the flow of chemicals in your brain, which makes you addicted. Heroin, just the feeling and the fact that when you come off heroin, you're basically in absolute agony and the only remedy is heroin. That's a goddamn addiction. Alcohol, addiction. Pot. There is an addiction to pot. It's psychological. It's more of a psychological instead of a chemical thing. But there can be people who are addicted to pot, meaning that they have to have it. It's not a part of their habitual, shit, which is all gaming is. It's just a habitual thing. Their parents set them up with those habits because they were too fucking lazy to talk to their children. And that shits me to goddamn tears. Instead of looking at the parents and, maybe actually trying to fix the fucking problem, they just go, nah, it's addiction. Oh, my kid won't get off their mobile phone. There are social network addiction. No, fucking no. Bad fucking parenting. You can't just put addiction on everything. It doesn't work like that. If everyone just goes fuck the dictionary and we all just start using words however we want to, imagine what would happen. Everything would go into fucking chaos. Seriously, think about that shit. You gotta think before you fucking speak. I know I'm not the best candidate for this sort of thing, considering that I don't make scripts at all and a lot of what I say is completely offensive and some of it I even regret later. But I'm not saying that I'm the perfect example. But even being that guy who's not the perfect example, who does fuck up with what he says, even I'm looking at you idiots going, God, addiction is a serious thing. It's serious. It's not a fucking laughing matter. It's not something that you can just flippantly use and just label everything as. Be a fucking man or an adult or whatever you are and own up to what you did. You used your television, you used your computer to raise your child, and now you can't admit to yourself that you fucked up as a parent, so you put addiction on it. Addicted to gaming, my ass. It's a habit that is taught. And if your kid grew up and you were its main influence, and all it does is game, take a long hard fucking look at yourself, buddy. Don't just slap addiction on it and send them off to some fucking hokey therapist. Let's face it, there's so many different types of therapists out there, so many specific branches of therapy that it's become a complete and utter fucking joke. Now, if someone's suicidal, if they're depressed, if they're thinking about killing themselves, that person needs fucking therapy. That person needs government taxes going towards services to help them. A little dickhead who wasn't brought up correctly, who can't get offline, they need a fucking slap in the head and a bit of a reality check. See, you dickheads on your gaming who are addicted to this social network or this gaming stuff, here's the reality check that your parents were too lazy to give you. If you live your life like that, you will be a fuck up. Now, my dad taught me these lessons, not in such harsh words, but he basically said, education, effort, success. He put it out there flat. And he doesn't mind talking to me about things when I have problems. He will sit down and go through everything with me. He's not a lazy fuck. Hence why I have a job, and hence why I'm actually, evolving, basically. I used to be an immature little shit as a child, and now I'm growing into a mature adult. And why is that? Because my dad wasn't fucking lazy like these parents who just fucking slap addiction on everything. I'm gonna say it, and this is offensive: food addiction. Sorry. Some people may disagree. I might have my facts completely wrong on this, but I do not agree with food addiction. Again, parents, where were you? Okay? You always see this shit in the news when Miley Cyrus, twerks her ass, or when Eminem makes an offensive song or some shit like that. The parents go, what about the children? If you were being a good parent, you'd be setting them up with proper goals and proper ways of judging things, to the point where Eminem's music or Miley Cyrus twerking isn't going to do them any harm. If your child sees Miley Cyrus twerk and just immediately becomes a rapist, don't blame fucking Miley Cyrus or the celebrity, blame your fucking self. If you teach your kids proper habits, if you teach them how to judge things, if you basically just talk to them, you will get a normal fucking child, adult, whatever. But if you just fucking put them in front of the TV and use that to raise them, you're gonna get one fucked up child or adult. Think about that. Look at the shit you can look at on the internet or see on your television. You shouldn't be using that to raise your children. When your children are getting on your nerves, when they're annoying you, you tell them to be quiet, but still spend fucking time with them. These parents who just lock their kids up in the lounge room or just push them away with some sort of electronic device and use that to raise them, blame your fucking self. Don't use addiction. Addiction is a serious thing, and addiction is usually caused by the participant who is suffering the addiction making one essential flaw in their decision making. Addiction's a lot different to someone who wasn't raised right. Someone could get slipped heroin and get addicted. You don't slip someone a game and they get addicted. It doesn't work because you don't get addicted to games. And a lot of people may argue, if they watch this, they're going to be like, oh, but what about psychological addiction, like you said with the pot? That could happen with gaming. If you've been brought up correctly, you know that gaming is just that. You know that social media is just that. An electronic response to you hitting buttons. Simply turn it off. It's that simple. And why did I come to that conclusion so easily? Because I wasn't brought up by an idiot. Okay? So don't fucking call it addiction. Don't send them off to a rehab or something. Get your fucking hand out your pants and do your job as a parent. Anyway, that's my opinion on that. Probably one of the more forward and more maybe overly offensive opinions that I have in some people's eyes. But no, that's how I see it. And that's just how it is. Alright, mad as a goat.